almost fell. So Apexel sent me this 50mm phone lens thingy. Literally, it's a 50mm lens for your phone. I have an older iPhone 11 Pro, so it comes with this mounting plate thing, so you can mount it on your lens and you're good to go. My first impression, this thing is solid. I mean, you could probably knock someone out with this. It's got some weight to it. I mean, it's heavier than the Canon 50mm 1.8. Literally, it's a solid piece of glass. And so it's not some piece of plastic that you clip it onto your phone. It's real piece of glass and metal. It feels solid, and it's $73. So that got me thinking. My iPhone 11 Pro is getting old. When you look at cameras in modern phones, it's pretty amazing how much better they've become. Better sensors, better lenses, better stabilization, and of course, much better computational photography. Now, how much of that improvement is the camera and the optics? Because, I mean, look at this thing. How much can you really improve when your entire camera system is inside of this thing? Like, it's so small, there's no room. How do you improve on the optics when that's it? There's not a lot of room in there. So I wanted to try something different. I wanted to find out if adding a real lens can make my old iPhone a better camera. And more importantly, can it help me make better photos or more sellable photos and videos? The Apexel lens, the 50mm HD portrait lens APL-PL2X. This is adding another optical element in front of your phone's existing camera, and that is really important, that matters. Computational photography can do an incredible amount of work after you press the shutter, but software can't completely replace optics. This changes how your camera sees a scene. It changes the field of view. It changes the perspective. It changes that relationship between your subject and the background. Instead of simply pointing your phone at something, you're making a decision about how can I photograph it. And that brings me to something very important that I mentioned in other videos, that's intentionality. When you have a specific tool on your camera, you tend to think differently about the photograph you're making. You're not just taking a picture, you're thinking about why you're taking it. And for photography, stock photography, that is really important. So see, you just clip this on your phone, it's meant to fit multiple phones. Newer phones have a case and you can just, put the case on and it has the camera holes in there. And then you just set it in the right spot and screw the lens onto that thing. Forgot to remove the little cover here. There you go, solid. I mean, literally, that's that feels good. It feels solid. It feels like you're going to work, even though it's a phone. Mindset, mind change, that's important. Does it make things better? Does it make the photos look better, the videos look better? Now look at some of these examples. Here's the phone by itself, and now here's the same scene with the Apexel. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now here's the Canon R5 with the 50mm, and here's the phone with the Apexel. Can you tell the difference? I mean, obviously, I hope you could tell the difference because that's like $3,000 right there. This is a $200 phone with a $73 lens. So obviously there's going to be some differences there, but look at how similar it looks. And by comparing it side by side, I noticed that the aperture that I'm getting with the phone and this lens, the background blur, is approximately 7.1, f7.1, which is not terrible, especially for a phone with the added lens. I mean, the zoom, the background blur, it looks pretty good, to be honest with you. But here's the thing, I'm not gonna tell you that every photograph or every video you make with the Apexel is automatically gonna be better, because it isn't. There's gonna be limitations with a native phone camera from time to time. And that's not really the question I'm interested in. The question is, does this lens give me a photograph that I couldn't get, that I wouldn't be able to get without it? A lot of you watching this may wanna get into stock photography or stock video, and you may only have a phone. So spending $73 on something like this, is it gonna help? And I think it can, but one of the biggest limitations of a smartphone camera is the optics. The sensor is tiny, the lenses are tiny, and you have very little control over how that camera sees the world. Adding a real lens gives you another optical tool, and that can give you more options. But here's another limitation that we need to talk about. Low light is where the physical limitations of a phone camera really start to show. Modern phones can do some incredible things in low light. They take multiple exposures, they combine them, reduce the noise, recover shadows, build an amazing image that looks awesome on the little screen. But there are physical limitations, and there's only so much light that a tiny sensor can collect. And you might not even notice the problem when you're looking at the 5-inch screen. But zoom into 100% or 200% and you're gonna start seeing the softness, smearing, artifacts, and for stock photography, that matters. So good light is essential when you shoot a stock with the phone. Now, one of the things I was curious about was seeing that background separation, the background blur, you know, how that f7.1 that I figured out later. Does adding this lens give me more background blur than shooting with the native iPhone camera? I'm gonna let you decide. Look at these videos side by side. Look at the background, look at the subject, look at the edges, at the overall rendering. Which one do you prefer? That's one of the reasons I like doing these comparisons. Now, to be totally transparent, I didn't really want to make this video. I don't use my phone to shoot. But I've answered a lot of comments here in different videos from people asking whether a phone is good enough for stock photography. Because if you're just getting started in stock photography, you probably don't have a $3,000 camera and a collection of expensive lenses. You probably just have a phone. And so I said, well, let's test it. That's not that expensive. Is it gonna help you? Is it gonna make things better for you? Can you make stock photos with the phone? The answer is yes, but you have to work around those limitations. You need good light, good composition, shoot with intention, and don't rely on the digital zoom when you don't have to, because that's literally crop it into the image. If your phone gives you manual control, use it. Control your ISO, control your shutter speed. Take control of the photograph instead of letting your phone make every decision for you. And just to put this phone photography thing into perspective, when you press the shutter on a modern phone, you're not necessarily getting one simple exposure like you do with a camera. The phone is capturing multiple frames, aligning them, combining them, process the HDR, reduce the noise, reconstruct detail, process color, recognize the scene so that it can edit it, and then it gives you the final photograph. The phone isn't recording the scene anymore, it's interpreting it. And that's one of the reasons why modern phones can produce such incredible images from tiny cameras. It's all computer-based, it's all computational photography. But all of that processing still has to start with something. Light comes through the lens, and that's where real optics can make a big difference. There's another thing I didn't expect from this lens. It makes me more intentional. If I'm walking around with my phone and I see something interesting, I just grab the photo, take a quick video, a quick photo, and that's it. But when I've put a lens on here, literally thinking about putting a lens on here and going out to take pictures, it changes how I think. I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking about the shot. I'm thinking about how the background's gonna look, about the subject. It literally it changes your mindset. You're thinking close-ups, movements, sequences. It makes you think about where that photo or video is going to be used. I'm now shooting instead of simply recording what's happening, and that can make a big difference. Would I say that the $73 lens makes my iPhone 11 Pro better than a 17 Pro? No, not even close. Modern phones have better sensors, better optics, better stabilization, better and dramatically better computational photography. The technology has moved forward tremendously, but that's not what this lens is trying to do. It's giving this older phone another optical tool. Now, I do think it gives me better results than the bare phone in multiple situations. Imagine putting this kind of real optical lens on a modern phone with a much better sensor. That could be a pretty powerful combination. And maybe someday I'll upgrade and find out. Although, lately I've been thinking about going back to a dumb phone, so we'll see. I don't know. Photography is full of gear that promises to make us better photographers. The thing is that equipment doesn't make you better because the equipment itself is better. It makes you better if it changes the way you approach photography. And I think this is one of the most interesting things about this lens is that it makes me stop, look, think, and then decide what I want that photograph to be. And for stock photography, that is extremely important because you're not just trying to make a pretty picture, you're trying to make an image that communicates something that somebody can use to sell something. And the more intentional you are when you shoot, the better chance you have of making something sellable. So, did this Apexel 50mm HD lens make my iPhone 11 Pro a better camera? Yes, in my opinion anyway. It gives the phone something that software can't completely replace, which is the optics. Maybe the bigger benefit is what happens in your head when you put that lens on there. And then for video, I think being intentional is worth a lot more than simply having the newest camera. Looking at all these examples, what do you think? Does the Apexel make my iPhone better? Let me know here in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.